Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I am your host, JB, your sports guy. I am being joined by my good friend, who you can catch on CrescentCitySports.com, the one, the only VK Jones. VK, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, good evening. What's going on, Jared? What's going on, everybody out there? Facebook land, YouTube land, all over the state, all over the country. We appreciate you joining us each and every week on the Hash It Out Show. Please just continue to like, tag, and share this broadcast. We're on every week. We cover all sports, but especially our local high school sports, and that's very important on our show. So it's good to be here.
Very important. And today we are joined by a special guest. She is the coach of the 2022 Class 5A state champions in basketball for girls. And she has her team ready to play tomorrow night in a quarterfinal matchup against Zachary High School in the Division I non-select girls basketball playoffs. We are joined by Coach Patricia Landaiche. Coach, how are you doing today?
We're doing really good. Getting ready for tomorrow night. Just left practice, so we doing all right. Ready for tomorrow.
I know that's right, Coach. Coach, tell us about your coaching career. Where did it start, and when did you get to Ponchatoula?
All right. Well, I played basketball at Ponchatoula when I was in high school, and then when I graduated, I played at Southeastern. And when I left there, I started at Laranger. I was there for 7 years. I went to Springfield for 1 year, and then the job came open at Ponchatoula, and so I started in Ponchatoula in 1995. And so, and at that point, my first year in 1995, I had my fourth kid, and my oldest child was 5 years old. So I took a break after I was there for 1 year, and I got out of coaching, and then I came back. This is my 10th year back into coaching. But I during that time, I volunteered at St. Joseph, our little Catholic school in Ponchatoula, and I coached AAU during that time. But this is my 10th year back in the high school scene.
Was it always a dream to coach at your alma mater?
Well, I had the opportunity 1 year after I was at Laranger. Coach Peggy Allred, who was my coach, she retired, and I got the opportunity to take the job then. And I accepted it for 2 days. And then I called the principal and told him that I couldn't take it at that point because I hadn't done anything to prove myself. And so I turned the job down. And then, and he actually got mad at me. But when it came back open after I was at Laranger and had success there, I decided I wanted to go and go to my alma mater. And I've loved being there.
Awesome. As I stated when we started the show, you and your team, you won the state championship last year, Class 5A. Talk about that season, from the start of the season, any ups and downs you had to winning a state championship.
Sir, last season it was definitely up and down. The whole season we had different starters the whole year. I was blessed to have Jaylee Womack, who is playing at Tulane now.
Right.
She scored almost 2,000 points almost 3,000 points while she was there, but she scored over 1,000 points last season. She scored like 1,032 last season. Over her career, it was 2,865. And so she was a phenomenal player to coach. But I had 4 seniors last year, her, Jada Clark, Presley Walls, and Abby Faust. And those 4 girls were phenomenal. And then I had some juniors that Libby Thompson and Taylor Jackson, they started for me last year. And Presley Walls broke her leg at our parish tournament in December. And so Amaya Gervais, she's a junior. She stepped up and got lots of playing time. And then Jada Clark turned her ankle real bad. So Presley Walls got lots of playing time. So we had a lot of depth on our bench last year when we went into the finals. So that blessed us. And last year was just a dream come true year. We were ranked 4th when we started the playoffs. And, we took care of the first 3 rounds. And then once we got to Southeastern, we weren't supposed to win. And so the pressure was off of us. And to beat Walker Corey's one of the best X's and O's out there. He's a phenomenal coach. And I learned a lot from watching film on him because he's really good. But beating him was a big hurrah for all of us. And then Parkway, of course, with Michaela Williams, we had a face guard her the whole game. And when that clock went off for the second overtime, and we actually had a 1-point lead, I still couldn't believe it for a while. So it was a fun year. So
You talked about juniors from last season stepping up, who are now seniors this year.
yes, sir.
How important was it for them to get that experience from last year and to now become leaders for this season?
Yes, sir. Well, my two seniors that started for me last year, Libby Thompson and Taylor Jackson, they have been great role models for me this year. Libby has been lighting up the 3-point line, and then her blocks and her defensive skills have been really great. Taylor Jackson, she was out the first 8 weeks. She had a broken leg, and she actually played on, we thought it was shin splints, and she played with that last season in the final games, and it ended up being a fracture that we didn't find out about till the beginning of this season. So she missed the first 8 weeks. So we had some bumps and bruises early in the season, but with those two seniors right there that had all that experience, well, Lily Bush and Amaya Gervais, they got so much playing time over the years that Amaya's running that point for me, taking care of business. Lily Bush she has always been locked in on defense. We put her on their best player all the time, and she shuts them down. So hopefully we could pull that type stuff out later. But my 4 seniors, I have 5 seniors. My 5th senior got a concussion early in the year, and then she came back and she got another one right away. So she's been out all season. So I have 4 seniors that have been really leading a great charge for us this year.
I looked at your schedule. Some of the teams you played: Slidell, Walsman, Curtis, LaGrange, Scotlandville, Amite, St. Louis. How important is it to face tough teams in the regular season to get you ready for the playoffs?
Yes, sir. I always say that I'm a insane type coach, because I always put us against the best teams. I don't want to go out there and just get a W. I want to get some learning out of it. And there's many times the players look at me like, why are we going here? I'm like, because we have to get better. We have to play this team. And even on those losses, we've gotten better. We've learned. Like, we went and played John Curtis 2 weeks ago. And that game, we didn't have to play it because it wasn't district or anything. But to go and play it and play in that atmosphere, they had their band, the fans were all intense. It was great. And it was a championship atmosphere. And so I like to put them in those battles where they can learn and progress and get better.
Back to winning the state championship last year and coming into this season, how were you able to get your team to focus on a new season instead of them still thinking about last season?
Yes, sir. Well, they have something to prove, because like last year was the most decorated team ever from Ponchatoula, because they had been to the state playoffs 3 different times. We lost twice in the semis, and then we won it last year. And they had the best record and all that stuff. Well, this year, this team did not, my seniors, they've never lost a game on our home court, which is something awesome. We won the parish champs 3 out of 3 years. It wasn't held because of COVID. We were district champs 4 years undefeated. And so I told them, I said, ladies, I brought them to a senior breakfast last week. And I told them, I said, guys, if we get past Zachary, we didn't know who it was at this point. If we make it to Southeastern, y'all will be the only people in Ponchatoula High history who has made it to the state playoffs all 4 years. And so they kind of dug into that. And, that's a lot to be said, because you don't even hear that at many high schools.
Right.
And so with any sport. And so I just try to find little ways to motivate them to get them over that next hurdle. And they've responded. I've been so blessed to have a great team to coach all my years, and my coaching staff. I can't say enough about my coaching staff. They are constantly helping me, and Ponchatoula wouldn't be Ponchatoula without the whole coaching staff. So
You got a big win over Thibodeau on Thursday night. What were your thoughts on how your team played?
We really locked in on our defense, and we ran a trash defense at them. We played, half of the girls were playing man and 2 girls were playing zone, and they were surprised at that, because we took the ball out of the ball handlers' hands, and they got frustrated with it. And so we got a lot of success out of that. And the girls just seem to rise every time. We got to stop. We make our turnovers on the other end because we play such a fast pace. but they kept locking down on that defensive end. We held them to 5 points in the first quarter, and I just kept telling the girls we needed to increase that lead because they're fun. They are great. They can shoot the eyes out of the ball, and the deal with them is they're really young, and so they'll be back in those playoffs next year. So Ashley does a great job down there.
Before I pass it on to VK Jones, tomorrow night you have to travel to Zachary to play Zachary. I've known you have seen film on Zachary already. What are your thoughts about Zachary girls basketball team?
They can shoot the eyes out of the ball. And if we are not guarding that 3-point line, we're going to be in trouble. And against Destrehan, they were out there. They had a hand in their face, and they were still scoring. So if we're not able to control that, and then Alyssa Odell in the lane, if we can't contain her, we're going to be in trouble. So we have to go in locked in on our defense and really hold them on that end, and then find ways to score on the other end. So, I mean, Tammy, she can coach. So it's going to be a fun one, and I'm sure it's going to come down to the end, just who has the ball at the end. But it's going to be a fun atmosphere. I know they're going to have their band there, and it's going to be all lit up and all. So that's what we play for. That's what we coach for. So I'm excited.
Coach, it's good to have you on and everything. And a lot of people said a lot of great things about you, and it was great for me to meet you at the Sugar Bowl tournament. And at the same time, seeing last year, and I'm gonna ask you this first question: what are your thoughts? Because a lot of people said this about last year's state championship game. They said it was probably one of the best girl state championship games they ever seen. And I was in Lafayette for the Select Boys Championships, and all I hear is, "Hey, game going to overtime." What?
Yeah.
Game going to 2 overtimes. What?
Yes,
and all of a sudden, like Ponchatoula won, I said, "Wow."
Right.
So, what are your thoughts on a lot of critics and people saying that last year's championship was probably one of the best they probably ever seen in girls basketball?
Well, I was right there with you because we were down by 5 with a minute left, and I was just proud at that moment. I was like, man, we gave these fans a good game to watch, and that was before we went to overtime. And I mean, I was really okay with how we played because we played a hard game. We executed the game plan, and then they decided to shoot threes when they didn't need to. And we got the rebounds, and we came down and we scored. And then the last possession down, I had to call a timeout with like 12 seconds left, set up a play, and Jaylee scored over Michaela Williams. And, a couple seconds go off, and we go to overtime. And at that point, I'm like, oh my gosh, we're taking an overtime. And I just kind of was like taken back. And then the second quarter, we took a lead, and I was like, oh my goodness, oh my God, this is too good to be true, And then as the game developed, we ended up going to a second overtime. I was like, man, we're giving this crowd a good game to watch. And I was just in awe being there. And then and it really wasn't a lot of coaching. The kids were just playing ball. And then that second overtime, we came down, and Michaela hit a 3. Then we came down. Jaylee hit the baseline jumper and all, and we up by 1. And we go down. Michaela had the ball in her hands, and the referees let it play out. And she took a shot right in a step in front of the free throw line. And when I saw it hit the front of the rim, I was like, "This is not happening. This is not happening." And then all of a sudden, we got the rebound, and I stood there for a second because I could not believe we pulled that thing out. But the girls would not quit. They refused to lose that game. So, and like I said, it was the girls just refused. So,
and Coach, you got a young team in itself. With your 4 seniors leading the way and everything else. A sophomore named Alyssa Hilliard, who's really stepped up for your team this year. But not just that, lately in the second half, how she's been putting up big numbers and everything. Kind of remind you of Warmack, of how she did last year. But she's just a sophomore. How much you can say about her future, and also the future of your young players also, who's been very talented and helping things out, taking the pressure off those seniors?
Right. Well, Alyssa Hilliard last year, I had 2 freshmen on my team last year, and she was one of them. And my oldest daughter came to one of our games at the beginning of January. And she's like, Mom, where'd 22 come from? I'm like, well, she's a sophomore. She played for us last year. She's like, no, Mama, she didn't. And I'm like, no, she was there. And I had to show her the shot of Jaylee making it. I'm like, look, that's her jumping on the sideline right there. And she's like, well, Mama, why you didn't play her? I said, do you not know what we had on the court already? And I said, I would play her a lot because we had a lead in a lot of games. But she didn't remember Alyssa at that point. And she was like, oh my gosh, Mama, she is phenomenal. She's gonna go places. And I agree with that. I had a talk with her earlier in the year because in the beginning of the year, she wasn't scoring. And so I went to her and I said, baby, I need you to get to the paint. I need you to take that ball and just drive when you can and get to the paint. Well, the very next game, she did it over and over and over and over. She went to the paint. She could have 2, 3, 4 on her, and she went to the paint. And so the next day after that game, I said, all right, listen, now I got you going to the paint. Now we got to learn when we go to the paint and when we run our plays. And I said, believe it or not, I had this talk with Jaylee Womack when she was your age, because it was just a matter of knowing when we run our plays, when we run our numbers, or when do I drive. And now she's finally got that balance out, and she knows when to take it to the hole. She knows when she can shoot it, and she knows when she needs to look for the cutters coming through. And so she's developed big time over the year. And then another person I want to talk about is Maya Joseph. She's a sophomore. Believe it or not, she was my manager last year. She filmed all our games. Then when Taylor Jackson had a broke leg for the first 8 weeks, she started for us. And she came in and she has grown leaps and bounds. And so obviously, Taylor came back, so she's not starting now, but she's able to get in and give breaks and all. And then we have Morgan Watkins, who's a junior. She tore her ACL in June, and she just got back. I want to say this is her 5th game, maybe back, and she's able to get in there and give us some minutes. So we're starting to be balanced out, and I'm getting all my tools back together. So I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. And the way also we're looking, and I got to apologize a little bit because I was on the show, and I think I know Alyssa's family pretty well. And I was saying at first 6'1", 6'2", they're like, no, we wish Dad. She's only 5'8.5", 5'9". So I was like, okay, but her defense.
She plays bigger than that. She plays bigger.
But and she does. She plays very bigger. How you felt at the fact that her defense has gotten much better, and then the big games, it seemed like she steps up big time. The way she plays, especially the Curtis game, that really stood out, and she outplayed one of out of Curtis' best player.
Yeah, she did. She gets up that line and stuff, and on defense, and just shuts them down. We had her face guard in that game, and she's going to go somewhere big. She worked so hard. Her defense. She was upset a little bit at the Curtis game because she said she didn't score as much as she thought she should score. I was like, baby, you shut that girl down. You spend all your energy on this end of the court. You're good. I'm not worried because I don't look at points. I just look for the W. I don't care who's scoring for me. Just somebody score. And then everybody just follow the game plan on the defensive end. So, but she locks in on that. She plays. She knows when to help. She knows when to go up the line. She denies it when they go to do handoff. She'll get in between there and cut that off. She's a smart player.
Well, I'm gonna ask you this about your former player, Jaylee Womack, who is at Tulane.
Yes.
I know she's going through her thing and everything else, ups and downs at Tulane. What are your thoughts? You don't have to really say too much, but do you think things could get better for her? I know she's just her first year as a freshman, but I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot going on, and I know you wish she can get more playing time than she can.
Well, she tore her ACL. She tore her ACL.
Okay.
Yes, sir. She was getting some playing time early on, and then against, I want to say UNO early December, she tore her ACL. So she's been out most of the season, and I'm hoping she's going to get a red shirt for that. But one thing I love when I talked to Jaylee, I was asking her, just how you like college, how do you like the basketball team, how you like coaching, how you like, everything. She loves it all. And there's not a lot of college players that really love their college coach. And so that's kudos to Lisa Stockton. You know, she just made a record for being the winningest coach in Louisiana, and that's a test to it. You know, because Jaylee loves her, and so hopefully, you know, she'll get that. She had surgery the beginning of the second week in January, and so hopefully she'll get recuperated and be able to hit that court next season.
We wish her well on her progress and
Definitely.
everything. Just
Yes,
wanted to get us a little confirmation. You didn't
Yes,
have to
sir.
talk to them, but we appreciate, because we was wondering. I went to a couple Tulane games myself.
Right.
One of the assistants is a good friend of mine. I guess Coach Chandra, the assistant coach.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Yep.
you know, went to a couple games, and you know, we seen her early, and that I was wondering what was going on, but I'm glad she's
Right.
gonna be trying to. She's
Yeah,
making
she's gonna be on.
progress.
Yes, sir.
Good,
Yes,
good.
sir.
Now, I gotta ask you this about the area in itself. How things have changed, especially in the North Shore area. It always was a mix in between Southeast Louisiana, in the river parishes, New Orleans, and the North Shore. Since after Katrina, New Orleans has not been really up there in girls basketball, but it
Yes, sir.
seems like the North Shore has taken over, and
Yes,
especially
sir.
how it was last season in the top 28 with you guys. You look at A Meets program, you
Yes.
look at LaRonja's program,
Right.
Mandeville's program.
Right.
Tell us how tough it is with the North Shore. Or do you think the North Shore is probably one of the best areas of girls basketball right now?
I think it's one of the best. Yes, sir. I think it's we're very competitive. Any year anybody could win the parish tournament. Anybody could win district. You have A Meet, who is, you know, Coach Pierre. She's one of the best. Then you have Albany, who they went to the Final Four last year and they didn't have a senior, and they've picked up another player that's, you know, I would love to see them win it. Stacy does a great job there. St. Thomas, I think they just lost, but Coach Eddie at St. Thomas Aquinas, he does a great job with those kids. Every team around here is pretty competitive. Springfield has stepped it up this year. They play tomorrow night in the quarters, so I hope they do well too. But overall, everybody here on the North Shore, for the most part, is very competitive. You could pick up competitive games pretty easy, and then. But you got to admit, Parkway, Benton, Natchitoches Central, Captain Shreve, that district up there is pretty tough. Yeah, then you have, you know, Barb over on the west side of the state. You have West Monroe, Ruston. It's like you said, it's more north, but there's a lot of competitive teams around here. Lafayette, there's a lot of really good teams.
Absolutely, and Hannon is Archbishop Hannon. We can't forget about them.
No,
How
you
good,
can't.
how they're having a great year on the girls' side,
Yes, sir.
emulating what the boys have done the last 2 years.
Yes, sir.
So that is big, and you know, I really give big time props to the North Shore, because in the girls' side, I mean, hey, you got some great teams and great futures, especially you guys. A Meet has probably one of the youngest teams in the state,
Oh, Amy,
scariest
yes,
team.
sir. Yes,
Oh
sir.
goodness.
And
So,
please, I didn't mean to jump over Walker and Denham.
oh
You know,
no, we can't disrespect them.
I didn't mean to jump
That's
over
a tough
them
district.
either.
That's a
Yes,
tough
sir.
district in itself too.
Zachary,
Exactly.
Sandmall. Yes, sir. The
Right.
women's basketball is definitely coming up.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And I'm
Yes.
gonna ask you this. I'm gonna let Mr. Boyd finish things with your team and everything, especially the schedule and everything else. And I remember Alyssa's dad was telling a lot of the John Curtis people, don't underestimate us. We're too battle
Right.
tested. And I
Right.
told a lot of people after that game, I said Ponchatoula could defend their title, because this is the toughest schedule probably in the state. And they
Yes, sir.
lost a couple, but won a couple.
Right.
But do you think your team is built enough that you guys can get it done against Zachary? And not just that, you get back to Hammond and maybe a
Yes,
chance
sir.
to defend your championship.
Right. Well, we take it one game at a time. We definitely look at it like that. But our ultimate goal is to win another state championship. I cannot lie about that. But we know that road is really hard ahead of us. Zachary's going to be hard tomorrow night. we get through that. I mean, I would think it would be Walker. You know, he's tough. Parkway, tough. I mean, it's just a rough road we got to go through. But we weren't supposed to win it last year. And so that's, we get through. The target should be off our back right now because we're ranked 5th and we're going to play a 4th ranked team. So I'm hoping that target shifts a little bit. And I just want the girls to go out and have fun. And we pull it out. And we still haven't played our best basketball game. One of my assistant coaches told my team tonight, she said, the best part of this team is we still haven't played our best basketball game. So hopefully we'll play a little better one tomorrow and then a better one against whoever and then a better one for the finals. And we'll pull it out.
And that's going to be an interesting coaching matchup between Walker's coach and then Chandra Johnson over at Chalmette that is really trying to.
That's going. Yes, sir.
Coaching, you know what I'm saying? Because she probably, and I always say, and Jared Connor's against me on it, one of the best girls basketball players I've ever seen play. So
wait, I never went against you. I never saw her. That's all I said.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, we had to
please don't think that I'm overlooking Chalmette or Barb or anything like that.
No.
Because I'm not. It's just I'm just talking like the number 1 rank, the number 2 rank, stuff like that. Because I have respect for all those teams out there. I would never want to. We
know how good Walker is. We know. We're just saying about who the coaches are and everything, and she's still doing a learning curve more than anything else as a head coach and everything. And it's very good that former players, especially her and yourself, giving back to the game and also being successful in it. So that is really huge. So Mr. Boyd, go ahead and finish things out, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. Coach, how do you feel about this new playoff system?
I like the part where they put the higher seed always have the home games. I do like that part. But as far as the divisions and all that, I don't like how it's mixed with, you got in your 5A part, you got 5 and 4A mixed together, and you have 4 and 3A mixed together. I'm not a fan of it. I'd rather it be the 5, the 4, the 3. But LHSA, they know what they're doing, so I'm not going to question it. I just want to be in that number when the finals come.
I know that's right, Coach. I'm a fan. Go ahead, DK.
But also, I'm gonna say this, and I get what you're saying, Coach. But I feel I'm halfway with it. But I think this is kind of great in my opinion, especially when football going into basketball, because now you're about to get the dream matchups that people have been asking for a long time, and what we've been asking for, and now it's like, okay, it's coming to fruition, and now who's the best? Have at it. But then at the same time, we've been discovering as well, not just, we know that your side of the division is very competitive, but then some divisions are more wide open than they ever been, because you're like, you never heard this program, you never heard of that program.
Yes, sir.
And it's almost like, okay, are they that good? If they're that good, all right, they prove themselves. Or the other side of it, you pick the veteran team and be like, we're gonna go with them. Put all the money on them. Yes, so that's what it is. But
I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
I kind of like that myself. Go ahead, Jared.
I agree with Coach. I prefer top 32 teams, 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A. Now, Coach, let me get your opinion on this, because I've talked to other coaches. They think with this new playoff system, within a couple years, we will be back to 32 teams. 1A through 5A. Do you see that happening, or you don't see that happening?
I would think so. I would think so. I don't know. I mean, I try to stay out of all of the politics of it.
Correct.
But I would think it would go back to it, because I know some people aren't crazy about a first round bye. They'd rather play that than having 10, 11 days off. So I mean, it has its pros and cons, but I don't know. It probably will go back to it.
Coach Landaiche, we will get you out of here with this last question.
Yes, sir.
You've won district championships. You won a state title. Even with that, what is the main goal you want to accomplish for all of your players?
I want my girls to be better people when they graduate. I want them to be disciplined and to have good grades and to be able to do something and to finish things out as they become adults, and to know what they want to go to college or to whatever. I don't care what it is, just whatever you're going to do the best in it. And we always say when we huddle up is the will to win cannot be beat. And what that means is as long as you give 100% to what it is, it doesn't matter if it's being a friend, a daughter, a parent, whatever it is, that you're the best that you can be. And that's what I want the girls to get out of it, and I just want to see them successful. And the thing that does my heart good is when they come back to school and they see us and they come up and give you a hug, and it's like that, that you've touched them some kind of way. And I just hope that they can grow and be successful in life. So, yes.
Tomorrow night, 6:30 at
Yes, sir.
Zachary High School. If
Yes,
you're going,
sir.
no, go. It's no if. Go. Support Ponchatoula. If you're with Zachary, support Zachary. But if you're leaving to go there, make sure you leave early enough. Do not get stuck in Baton Rouge traffic.
Baton Rouge traffic.
Yeah,
all Ponchatoula fans, please try your best to get off work early if you could. Not just that, leave at 2:30, 3 o'clock. Please leave at 2:30, 3 o'clock. You hit the road and try to get there. You can you can hit that back way on 12. So you might can be all right. As long as you get there before 5, you good.
It's right when they get off at 12, right there on I-10. Right there. That's where the traffic hits.
Okay.
So hopefully, yeah.
But I think Coach ain't got nothing to worry about because I already know they probably gonna leave the school at about 1:30.
Yeah, I might move it up. I have to move that up.
Coach Landaiche, good luck tomorrow night against Zachary. Once again, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate it. And hopefully, if we get there, we will try to make it in Hammond if you guys make it to the semis.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Hope to get there.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Coach Landaiche. Big game tomorrow night. What are your thoughts? This is big. This is a great Zachary team. This is a great Ponchatoula team. This is not going to be easy for both teams. This is going to be a fight.
This is going to be a fight all the way to the end. All the way to the end. This is going down to the last seconds. Last seconds of the ball game and everything else. I'm hearing what Coach Landaiche giving us the pretty much the update and the what they call it the what the coaches call it the
Scouting report.
Scouting report. Thank you, my friend. Scouting report. Basically saying that Zachary can shoot the ball very well, and they said Destrehan set up a good defense and they still was making threes. They'll probably, and I wouldn't be surprised they lead the state in 3-pointers. So for that, I know Ponchatoula plays very tough defense. Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's going to be hard to pick this game. It's going to be really hard to pick this game. I'm still leaning towards Ponchatoula getting it done, but it's going to be very close. It's going to be a fight all the way to the end. Zachary is really good, but Ponchatoula is really battle tested, and they're going to be ready. So it's going to be an absolute war for 4 quarters, and the winner's going to go to Hammond.
That's why I asked her about the schedule and the tough teams that she's played this season. That makes a huge difference for any team. Battle tested, and the game against Curtis, close early on, but they pulled away late against John Curtis. Pulled away late.
And actually, they didn't just pull away late. They had a 16-point lead in the third quarter.
Okay.
And Curtis came back. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, Ponchatoula outplayed Curtis throughout the ball game. Curtis made some comebacks, but Ponchatoula answered. They really answered like the team they were. And I think that was a big litmus test. And to me, that made me think that this team could defend their title. Because you went to a hostile environment like that has only lost one game in the state the whole year, and you just gave Curtis some problems and something that Coach Alondra Brown would have to think about throughout the playoffs and be like, okay, what adjustment we have to make if we have our people in foul trouble and all that stuff. So it was really good for them and the growth of what they have done as a young team, as a team. with some experience and everything else, I think they have the chance. But it's gonna be one heck of a game. I hope they get it done, but I wouldn't be surprised either team can win tomorrow. But if Ponchatoula does pull it off, I'll tell you one thing there. Do they have a shot against Walker? Maybe. Because you have to think about this. They're battle tested because they play the toughest teams. And I give a lot of credit and I give a lot of respect to Coach Landaiche, meaning you don't run away from the competition. If you're that good, come on, let's go. Let's play. And that's what a lot of programs do, even when you're young or not. Play the best, because a lot of the inexperience, you got to learn in the heat. You got to learn in the heat of the experience. You got to learn right there. That's when you get better. You don't get better sitting down. You don't get better with confidence boosters too much. Confidence boosters you do need to teach them to win. After that, you need to go with the tough teams to really know how to win against better teams. And that's what Ponchatoula has done. And I'm telling you right now, if they make it to Hammond, they have a shot to go back to back. They have a shot because they're right in their backyard again. So we'll see what happens. But we know Walker is probably the team to beat in that division.
I want to go back to something she said, because she said she hopes to talk her back. I don't think the talk is off her back. When you are state champion, everyone knows. And everyone is going to come at you with their best shot. Zachary knows that Ponchatoula is the defending Class 5A state champions. Zachary's a 5A school too. So Zachary's going to come with everything, because they want to be the ones to say, we dethrone the state champions. Trust me, it's bulletin board material. So it's going to be a great matchup, man. And I wish I could see it, because I think this might be the best girls matchup tomorrow night out of all of them.
Here's the thing. Here's my question to you. Well, I don't know what your schedule is looking like. Like I said, if you want to go take that ride, that's on you if you want to.
We got the show tomorrow
for 8:00. Oh, we do, but we can start at location. It's on you with that. But if you want to stick to local and we get back for the show, that's fine with me.
I gotta teach also tomorrow, and I'm teaching till 6:30, so there's no way I can make it.
So no quarters tomorrow.
And we got a tournament Saturday, so I gotta get my people ready.
Okay, no quarters for you tomorrow.
No quarter to me. No, unfortunately.
Maybe I'll go to a quarter. I'll see, because for me, the way my schedule looking for Nunez and BRCC baseball, I'm gonna be missing the boys' playoffs for the first, second, and quarters.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to be missing that. We're still gonna analyze it and update it and all that good stuff on this show. I usually don't miss it, but VK got to get this money, man. It's just what it is. VK got to go get this money, and that's all. But I hope a lot of the Southeast Louisiana teams do make it. I'm gonna tell you what, Jared. Here's the deal. If one of the locals make it next week to Hammond, if you Curtis or Ponchatoula, do you want to go to Hammond one day out the week, whatever it's like the day for you?
This is the thing with me. Come Thursday next week, I'm in Dallas. We got our Taekwondo Spring Nationals. I'm gonna miss the championships there.
I'm not worried about the championships. I'm worried about the semis from Monday to Wednesday.
I might be able to catch the semis on Monday or Tuesday. I might be able to do that.
Okay.
Well, not Tuesday, because Shaw play next Tuesday. But then Monday.
Then on top of that, Monday or Wednesday will have to be the time, because Tuesday Nunez hosts Southwest Mississippi. So that's going to be an interesting week. And I wish if I wouldn't have had Sham, that's why I'm hoping to have rain or something that day, because I do want to catch St. Aug and Eric if that happens.
If that happens, yeah, that's big.
But if it's good weather that day, well, I'm gonna be in Chalmette and I'm gonna miss the whole playoff, because guess what? That following Friday, final Friday, I don't usually miss it. I only missed it but once because of a conference tournament. This time I'm missing it because Nunez is playing a doubleheader Friday over at Tulane, and
Okay.
that's like a to me. It's like a big stage because you know you're playing you're doing a broadcast at a bigger stadium, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really getting you closer to where you need to be in your life. But for that, getting paid can't just miss it. You're committed to it, but I'll tell you one thing. I'm just hoping a lot of these Southeast Louisiana teams. But I'm telling you, Monday, Wednesday would be great time if we go. I will try to get passes if I need to do it. I'm gonna try my best to get that, and I know how I'm gonna do it. So just
All right.
yeah. But we wish these teams luck, man. We really do. We
Definitely.
appreciate Coach being on.
Definitely. As we wait for Jason Hamilton to join us, talk about the Baton Rouge area teams that's in the playoffs for the boys. Let's talk about these girls' playoffs because we didn't do no predictions for these quarterfinals. So let's talk about this right now. Division One now select
And it shouldn't
number
be that
one.
long. So let's go.
Huh?
It shouldn't be that long.
No.
We ain't got 2 minutes. So let's go.
Number one Walker versus H. Chalmette. I got Walker.
I got Walker as well. Too much experience. It's gonna be way too much. Should be really close, but Walker will pull away in the fourth quarter.
Number five Ponchatoula versus Fort Zachary. I got Ponchatoula by 4 points.
I got Ponchatoula by 2.
All right. Here we go. Big matchup right here. Number 3, Barb, hosting number 11, East St. John at LaGrange High School tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. East St. John with the win over number 3, Barb.
Man, I'm gonna tell you what, my brother. We on the same page, man. I like Barb's program, but this is the return to prominence for East St. John. It's been a long time since they've been in the semis, since they played the state championship game and lost to John Ehret in the 90s. For them to get back after what they have suffered over the years, I think East St. John will get it done in a tight game at Barb. They pull off the upset and they go to the semis.
All right. Number 7, Natchitoches Central versus number 2, Parkway. I got Parkway.
Parkway coming with a vengeance. They remember what happened last season and they want to get back. So I think I wouldn't be surprised the game might not even be close. I think Parkway wins big.
All right. Let's get to Division 2 non-select right now. Number 1, Wassman hosting number 8, Bastrop. I have Wassman.
I have Wassman as well to move on.
Okay. Number 5, LaGrange versus 4, South Beauregard. I got LaGrange.
Lady Gators goes to the semifinals.
Lady Gators back to the semifinals.
Back to the semis. I'm sorry. I know I forgot they was there last year, so I think they're gonna get back.
All right. We got Bruley, number 3 versus 22, Jennings. Can Jennings come up with another upset? I'm gonna stick with Bruley.
I think I'm gonna stick with Bruley too. Should be close early, but Bruley will pull away. Great run for the Lady Dogs of Jennings.
All right. And number 7, West Feliciana going to number 2, Albany. I got Albany.
I got Albany as well, especially how Coach Landaiche spoke very highly of that program. It's a very good team, and they're trying to make a come up again this year. So I got Albany to the semis.
All right. Division 3 non-select. Number 1, Rose Pine versus 8, West St. Mary. I'm gonna go Rose Pine.
Give me Rose Pine as well.
Number 5, Union Parish hosting 13, Westlake. I'm gonna go Union Parish.
I will take Union Parish as well.
All right. Number 10, Bogalusa going to number 2, Amite.
Wait, you skipped one.
I know. I'm gonna go back to it. I got it.
I see where you're trying to go in there.
Yeah, I got it. I got
it.
I got Amite.
You did it for a reason. I know.
Not really. No, I did. Not really. Not really.
I got Amite winning it. It's gone. I think they win it big. Bogalusa, great run for the girls. For the girls at Bogalusa, but I think Amite, like I said, one of the scariest and youngest teams in the state that is really they're phenomenal. So I think they get
Gotcha.
the win.
Cool. Number 3, Springfield hosting number 11, Winfield. I'm gonna go with Springfield.
I'm gonna go with Springfield as well to pull off the win.
All right. Division 4, White Castle hosting number 9, Oakdale. I'm going with the number 1 seed, White Castle.
Lady Dogs of White Castle goes to the semis.
All right. Number 5, Homer hosting number 4, Arcadia. I'm going with Arcadia's hosting. My fault. I got Arcadia.
Arcadia with the win as well. A close one.
Cool. Number 3, Oak Grove hosting number 6, LaSalle. Oak Grove.
Lady Tigers gets to the semifinals, probably, I think, for the first time, I guess. But Oak Grove girls program really coming up.
East Beauregard going to number 2, Lakeview. I'm going to go with Lakeview.
Lady Gators to the semis.
All right. Division 5, 9 select girls. Number 1, Fairview hosting number 8, Hicks.
Good run
I got Fairview.
Well, good run for Hicks. Good run for Hicks. I mean, good run for them to try to win the election, but that goes down to Fairview this week.
Number 5, Reeves going to 4, Midland. I got Midland.
Midland gets it done over another candidate for a political office.
All right. Number 3, Gippsland Coleman hosting number 6, Florian. I got Gippsland Coleman.
Give me the 3 seed. They'll move on.
There you go. 7, Anacoco versus number 2, Hathaway. Anacoco, the 7th seed.
Whoo, man. I'm gonna go with you on this one. I'm gonna go with you on this one. Anacoco. I'm gonna go with Anacoco as well.
All right. Division 1 select. Here we go. John Curtis hosting number 9, Liberty. 6 o'clock tomorrow at John Curtis Lower School. John Curtis.
Well, big ups to Liberty girls holding it down for their program, their athletic department, especially what's been going on overall. But that will end against John Curtis. John Curtis big.
John Curtis big. All right. Number 5, Ben Franklin going to Scotlandville to face Scotlandville. Man. I'm going to go with Scotlandville on this one.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go Ben Franklin.
Okay.
We'll go Ben Franklin. Right. Ben Franklin has played against some tough competition, and I think they're going to be prepared. And they've been really coming up as a basketball program. I think this is their moment here. So I think they'll get it done against Scotlandville.
All right. Number 3, St. Thomas More versus number 6, Warren Easton. I think this is a great matchup. I really do. But somebody got to win and somebody got to lose. St. Thomas More girls is a great team also. Warren Easton girls, they have championships. They've been there before. I'm going to go Warren Easton by 3.
Wow. Bold one. Bold one, my friend. Bold one. I would love to lean towards a good coach in Katie Sterling. I go way back with her at Delgado, and she's done a real good job picking up the pace. You know, after Darius Mims has moved on and everything else, she's really have been prepared for this moment and everything else, and she has really learned a lot. And I'm thinking this could be their time to do it. It's going to be really, really close. I would love to pick Easton, but I'm going to go with St. Thomas More. This is too good of a team, and they're going to get it done by the skin of their teeth. But I wouldn't be surprised Warren Easton might pull this thing off tomorrow.
Number 7, Huntington going to number 2, Lafayette. I got Lafayette.
I got Lafayette. Close game, but they'll pull away in the fourth quarter.
Division 2 select. Lafayette Christian hosting number 8, Archbishop Hannon at 4:30 tomorrow. Lafayette Christian.
Lafayette Christian, they'll pull away in the fourth quarter. Very, very good team. And another scary young team as well.
Number 12, Bolton, going to number 4, Peabody. Can they come up with another upset? Not this time, Peabody.
The Peabody Lady Warhorses, they get to the semifinals. They're doing as good as the boys. So they move on.
De La Salle, number 6, going to Lake Charles to take on the 3 seed, St. Louis Catholic. If St. Louis can stop number 25, the center for De La Salle, they have a great shot of winning. If not, might be a long day for St. Louis Catholic. I'm going to roll with Coach Mike Mosley and his De La Salle Cavaliers.
De La Salle's been digging and digging, and I was leaning a little bit towards St. Louis because of the fact if St. Louis defense can stop the shooters from De La Salle, that could be a long day for them. Because I think St. Louis might be better equipped, and especially with guard play and everything else, that they can get 25 in foul trouble. But I'm gonna go with Mike Mosley's team as well. They've been to the quarters last year. They have the experience, and I think this time they'll get it done. It'll be a tight game, but I think De La Salle will pull it off.
De La Salle. Okay. We both got De La Salle going to the championship.
Semis.
That's what I meant. Sorry, y'all. Number 7, Buckeye, going to Homer to face number 2, Vanderbilt Catholic. I'm going to go with the Terriers, Vanderbilt Catholic.
I'm going to go with the Terriers as well, and not even close.
Division 3, girls. Isadora Newman hosting number 9, Glamora Newman.
Newman girls have been really, really dominant most of the season. They have hit a wall in some points, but I think they're gonna come up. They only won by 14 against St. Charles, who's very familiar with them in the district, and it was a fight, but they pulled away and win it. But I think they're gonna play better against Glamora. I think they'll win big.
St. Thomas Aquinas, 4 seed, hosting number 5, Parkview Baptist. I'm going with St. Thomas Aquinas in a close one.
The North Shore is rising and rising high. I'm gonna go with St. Thomas Aquinas. It's gonna be some good representation going into Hammond next week. I'll tell you that.
Without a doubt. Number 3, Homer Christian hosting number 6, Episcopal. I'm going Homer Christian.
Well, I'm gonna go with Homer Christian too. I think it's gonna be close. And I think they'll win it by like 3 to 5 points against Episcopal. Episcopal's a really good team this year, but Homer Christian's really overcoming a lot of things. It's just been a program that's been really building, and this is probably their time right here. So I'm gonna go with Homer Christian.
Number 7, Glen Oaks, traveling to number 2, Holy Savior Menard. I think this is close, within 5 points. And I think the road team, the 7th seed, Glen Oaks, will get the win.
No disrespect to Holy Savior Menard. Very good program. But I'm going to go another team to return to glory. Glen Oaks girls back in the semifinals. First time since the early 2000s. They are coming back. So big ups. I'm going with Glen Oaks going to the semis.
Division 4, select. Number 1, Southern Lab, hosting 8, Delta Charter, Southern Lab.
Southern Lab is they're loaded to bear. They're loaded to
Yeah.
bear. They're there to win another title.
Oh yeah.
So I like Southern Lab big.
Now, number five, Central Catholic going to play number 4, Washita Christian. I got Washita Christian.
I got Washita Christian as well. Should be a close one. They'll pull away and win it.
Number 3, Highland Baptist hosting number 6, Hamilton Christian. Highland Baptist.
Highland Baptist, I agree with you as well.
Number 7, Cedar Creek going to play Northwood Lena, the 2 seed. I think this Northwood Lena team is very, very scary and dangerous. I'm going Northwood Lena.
I'm gonna go with Northwood Lena as well, and don't be surprised. It might be 1 versus 2, Northwood Lena and Southern Lab, and that is going to be an unbelievable game in itself. I watched Northwood Lena last year in the semis when I was doing stuff with NFHS, and I was very, very impressed of what I seen. And I think they're gonna give Southern Lab a lot of problems. So it's gonna be a great matchup if they meet in the state championship. It's gonna be probably one of the best title games you're gonna see all weekend. It's gonna be an absolute war if these two meet.
All right. I'm gonna tell you this. Do not overlook Highland Baptist. Do not. Because I think Highland Baptist is a good team that can be playing Southern Lab for the championship.
You said Highland Baptist?
Highland Baptist, 3rd seed, yes.
3rd seed. Okay. You said Highland Baptist. Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to overlook them at all. You don't want to overlook them. I think they're a good program in itself, but at the same time, I think, like I said, they're a good program. But Northwood Lena and Southern Lab is here. Highland Baptist is probably here. That's how much of a gap it is. That's all I'm saying. No disrespect to them. But seeing both of them in action, like I said, Highland is coming up. But these two programs is like a whole nother atmosphere. So the thing is, for Highland Baptist, they're gonna have to step it up another notch especially if they make it to semis, because they're gonna most likely play Northwood Lena. They both make it. So they're gonna have to step it up another notch if they're gonna be that program.
Okay.
No disrespect, like I said, no disrespect. But
I know you're giving your honest opinion.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
It's honest opinion with evidence. So but we'll see. But you might be right about Highland. So we'll see.
All right. Division 5, number 1, Oak Hill hosting Family Community. I got Oak Hill.
I got Oak Hill as well. Moving on. This might be the most chalkiest one on here, except for a couple matches. But go ahead.
5, Plainview versus 4, Claiborne Christian.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the 5 seed in a tight one.
In a tight one.
5 seed in a tight one.
Okay. Let me see. J.S. Clark Leadership Academy.
You didn't even make your pick.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We're trying to get Jason Hamilton on the show. He's having trouble right now, so I'm trying to fix that too at the same time. Claiborne Christian. Number 3, Clark Leadership Academy versus Avoyas Public Charter. I got Clark.
I got Clark as well. Moving on.
All right. St. Joseph's versus Family Christian. I have Family Christian.
I have Family Christian as well.
All right, cool. Done with that. I want you to talk about this. Well, I'll try to help my friend right quick.
Okay.
Talk about the matchup that could happen next Tuesday between Eric and St. Aug and Carver and Landry if it happens.
Yeah, that's interesting in itself. Well, we're looking at both of these brackets and everything, the possibility of a St. Aug and Eric in the first round will be is most likely will happen. Karen Crow, a really good team, but at the same time, St. Augustine has been really playing well. They've been had tough competition, and they have been really stepping up. Division Cat League champions of in a very tough year. Probably one of the most competitive in the most competitive cat league we had in a long, long time. So St. Aug, I think they'll get it done against Karen Crow. Eric, it's gonna be a great matchup. It is gonna be an absolute hellified matchup, and I think John Eric is match up well with St. Aug, but then on top of it, I think they'll give St. Aug a lot of trouble because of their size, the combination of their size, and the combination of their depth. St. Aug runs about at least 7 to 8 deep, maybe 9. John Everett runs about 10 to 12 deep. And they really have some good depth all around, especially with the guards and also in the front court. So, with that being said, it's going to be really a great ball game if they meet on Tuesday. And all I'm gonna tell you is this: the Purple Knight Nation is coming across the water. They coming to that game. Giant Earth folks, get there early. Show out,
If it
man.
happens, if it happens.
No. It's happening. It's happening.
Oh,
I'm saying it's happening because I wouldn't be surprised Karen Crow will keep it close, but for the pride of St. Aug of what happened years ago in 2014, it has to be done Friday night. It has to be done for retribution. Because of the fact of the matter is, you have to think of the history of it. Because of the fact of the matter is, St. Aug was unstoppable at home in the playoffs. Unstoppable. Remember, it took over 5 decades for St. Aug to finally lose a game at home in the playoffs. The ultimate home court advantage gone. So, with that being said, it must be done, but I wouldn't be surprised Karen Crow, no disrespect to them, they're going to come ready to play. But at the same time, for St. Aug to move on and they move on against Eric, St. Aug is going to have to be prepared. A lot of pressure is going to be on the Purple Knights to win that second round. Eric is going to have no pressure, and that's why I give a little bit of an edge to Coach Cheese a bit because there's going to be no pressure.
why?
And a
Why you
lot of
think
times,
no pressure for Eric? Why you think no pressure?
because people expect St. Aug to probably go deep in the playoffs, especially what they did in the regular season, especially how they have played lately into the season. Because at first they was kind of up and down in the beginning, and all of a sudden they went on a big winning streak that changed the season for them. And at the same time, John Everett has not been on this stage in years. So for them, the pressure is going to be on all because they won state a couple years ago. And they're trying to get back, especially with some of the experience that they have, especially those seniors. So they're trying to get back to get into the top 28, knowing they're on the toughest side. But at the same time, they want to continue their legacy. John Eric don't have too much of a legacy. This is their time now. They have, and you got to get, like I said, Coach Green has give a lot of credit to him, trying to maintain the program, picking stuff out the mud, and keeping it pushing. But for Coach Cheese to resurrect, and I know he's been kind of up and down. Like he did good at Helen Cox and maintaining that program after the past success of what they had. For him to come to John Eric, his alma mater, and to resurrect that program the way he's getting it right now, it's a good sign that they have a great future at John Eric, and they feel like, especially with seniors like with a senior like John Kelly and a couple of these other players, they want this bad. And I just feel that this team, I think they'll give Scotlandville more problems in a little bit than St. Aug. Well, St. Aug can give them some problems, but I know Eric can. But it's going to be a great matchup, whoever wins that one. Now, you talk about the potential of Carver and Landry meeting in the second round. Hold on a second. I got the right one. Okay, here we go. Now, looking at the brackets, Carver don't even have to meet Landry. The only time they will meet Landry possibly is in the state championship game.
So it's not a second round matchup?
No. Landry would play the winner out of Lake Charles College Prep and Frederick Douglass. And
Okay.
they would have to go to Landry. The winner of that would have to go to Landry. Carver is on the side where Hannon is. So Kennedy,
Okay.
you talk about the matchup between Kennedy and Carver.
That's what I meant. Yes, sir. That's what I
Kennedy
meant.
and Carver.
My fault. Yes.
Nah, you good, bro. We all make mistakes. We're not perfect.
That's right.
I think Turles Catholic is going to give a lot of problems to Kennedy, but I think Kennedy is a better team, and I think Kennedy will get it done. Kennedy and Carver is going to be a really, really good matchup. I think Carver's been playing some good competition, and the youth has kind of kicked in a little bit because Carver had some setbacks, like during the season a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the experience of Jalen and all these other players for Carver, I think they're gonna come through, and I think those young players are gonna step up too. Kennedy is gonna really come out there fighting. They're not gonna lay down, and I know most likely the game will be at Carver. It's gonna be a packed house for that game.
Oh, will it be? Will it be?
You think St. Aug and Everett is gonna be packed? It is. Carver Kennedy is gonna be packed, and if I'm Carver, please get extra security for that game. Please get extra security because you know how them people gonna be, and I'm not knocking nobody because I like Carver. I like their atmosphere. One of the biggest gyms in the city of New Orleans. I don't care what anybody say. Fight me on it. Please go to the gym, and you'll understand why I'm saying it's one of the biggest gyms in the city. But for that, it is going to be packed. Get extra security to make sure everything's in order because that is going to be a rowdy, rowdy night. Because, Carver's going to make a lot of noise. But them JFK people, they're coming, buddy. They're coming. So it's going to be like old school Carver Kennedy battles back then in the 8-5A district. So that's how critical it's going to be. That battle goes way back, brother. So it's a long time coming. I remember me and my friends went to a Carver Kennedy game and how rowdy that was at Kennedy that we had to move locations because of the condensation of the floor. And I think the changing of the location was the difference in the game. So regardless of the fact, it is going to be an absolute war in the second round.
There he is. All right. We got him now.
Come on, brother.
Got him. All the trouble. There he is.
Samuel.
My good friend, Coach Jason Hamilton. Coach, what's going on, brother?
Oh, ain't nothing, brother. Having a long day at work. Finally off, so I can go in basketball mode now.
I hear you.
Wow.
All right. So you're an assistant for Capital, correct?
Correct.
All right. Let's talk about Capital right quick. Capital is in Division III boys.
Yes.
Select playoffs. And let me see who y'all got up first. I think I got it up.
14. We got a mentorship.
Mentorship. Talk about this matchup for y'all. We picked Capital to win on Monday. So how's this gonna go? Capital versus mentorship. What you got?
I got us by double digits. We lost to them early in the season, during the EBR tournament. We wasn't gelling together. Bigs wasn't. We didn't have no chemistry with the guards and our bigs. And over the last 6 to 8 games, our guards and our bigs been clicking like no other. So that is definitely our advantage, and we are definitely going to dominate in that area. I can guarantee you that for sure. So you can go ahead and book it. I'm guaranteeing to win.
All right. Yeah. I'm talking about. Now, we all know about the big brawl that just happened between Zachary and Liberty. Talk about that for a second, and how has that opened up things for Division I non-select and Division I select? Because these two teams were favored to win it.
So both teams were favorites because of their past history, of course, back to back from Zachary and Liberty just getting there for the last, I want to say, 3 years. They've both been competing for maybe the last 3-4 years in that field. That fight, man, I don't know. I'm on the fence with it. In my opinion, I think it could have been handled a little differently, but I also understand why it led to what it led to. So if we're gonna do one, or we're gonna do the same to other schools in the state, you got to go ahead and continue and follow suit. So I definitely agree with that. But I definitely think.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
Jason. Can you tell us what led it to that point, to where it kind of went the left, went to the left all the way like it did? Because last year these two teams went. Me and Jared talked about it. These two teams went into last year in an intense battle with Liberty winning, and it was a lot of smack talk after the ball game.
So I'm not even gonna go the route that most fans go. I'm gonna speak from a coaching standpoint. A lot of fans, a lot of things I've been hearing is, oh, the referees allow it to get that far. If the referees would have called this or not called this, they had control of the game. I don't think that was the reason for it. I honestly think Zachary had their number. The kid from Liberty was frustrated, and the kid from Zachary, I mean, y'all let me know. If you foul a kid and you on the ground and the kid decides to step over you, you're not going, so the kid from Zachary, I mean, I'm not gonna let a kid step over me if I'm a kid. So I'm gonna defend myself in that manner. Now, if the punches have to be thrown, not at all. But I think the kid from, this is my opinion, I think the kid from Liberty was in the moment. He was a little frustrated. They were down 18. They were on the way. In my opinion, they was gonna lose that game. I mean, it was maybe a minute left in the game, 2 minutes, maybe.
It was close, yeah.
Wow. So down 18 with 2 minutes. Zachary had the momentum. I just don't think Liberty would have done anything, and I just honestly think the kid from Liberty just had, wore his emotions on the sleeve, and he let the best of the game get to him, and it went where it went.
I totally am in agreement with you on that one, because the same thing I said. I think the Liberty guy got frustrated. He pushed him down. They went to step over him, and your guy got up, and the Liberty guys went through the punch first.
Exactly.
What is your opinion about fans needing to stay in the stands instead of coming on the court? To me,
times have changed, man. Times have changed. So, of course, back when we were growing up playing ball, that was not anything we were really worried about as far as players or coaches. I mean, I think more so back then, everybody understood it was just basketball. At the end of the day, once the game over with, everybody going back to being friends, best of friends, brothers, sisters, however you want to put it. Nowadays, I think they let too much slide. When I say they, I'm speaking on administration and security. Everybody wants it to be a showcase. A lot of people are taking the respect of the game out of the game. And I think that for the parents and fans in the stands, that's where we're lost. They're taking a lot of the showmanship, team ball, the competitive level has changed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not you can't touch the kid. If a parent see a kid see their child get foul hard, they automatically think the kid did it on purpose, or he was doing it blatantly to hurt the kid. Like, that's never the case. And I think a lot of parents get themselves involved to where they put their personal feelings out there rather than allowing the kids to play the game within the lines.
Coach,
I mean, at the end of the day, that Liberty Zachary game, all they had to do was separate the two players.
That's it.
Everybody to leave the gym, bring all the teams back from out the locker room, and finish the game. If they was gonna do, but because they ran out on the floor, it is, you're gonna get what you're gonna get. Because not too long ago, 2 weeks ago, they had a fight, Catholic High against Scotlandville. But it wasn't a fight on the floor. 2 kids from Catholic High was fighting in the stands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So So imagine if two kids, but this is my thing. Imagine if that was two kids. I'm sorry to take it here. Imagine if it was two kids from a black school just fighting in the stands. Now, of course, knowing what we know, that fight would have went from the stands and probably brought down onto the floor. The officials would have been like, "What's going on? Why are these teams fighting?" And it wouldn't even been teams fighting. It would have been one school fighting against, So a lot of people don't know about that, but that happened at Catholic, and again, that was controlled because it was in the stands and not on the court. So I just think more security just needs to be around the stands. And when you come to certain games such as your Zachary against Scotlandville, Liberty against Zachary, though they need to they need to have it set to where the bleachers can't come as far out to the court, because it's literally now the bleachers are like literally right behind the bench, like on the floor of the court, to where a kid could be standing out of bounds trying to take the ball out, and the opponent, they could be standing in front of the opponent's bench or opponent fan, and that fan can pull on their shorts, mess with they, can do anything and can't nobody see it. So I just think it's some of those things need to be changed or need to be added, and we'll be good. Just keep basketball.
So, Coach
Go ahead,
Jason,
VK.
I'm gonna ask you this, Coach. Appreciate you being on the show.
Yes, sir.
And I want to ask you this: Do you? And I talked with Jared about the situation. Do you think a good solution? And I was thinking, are there 9 districts? But come to find out they're in the same district. And I was like, if they're 9 district, don't have them play again for 2 years, because of the fact of the matter is there's been too much. But the solution I have, since they're in the district, have extra security, but plus the PA announcer for who's ever at the game make an announcement, and the rules saying if anybody goes on the court during the game, they will get kicked out, plus a possibility of being banned from the gym. Do you think that is the best solution, and they need to start doing that next season?
That, after talking to other coaches, that's probably sound like the best thing that I've heard, Coach. I'm not. That's probably the best thing you can do to keep the game of basketball the way it is and not take the love of the game out. You know what I'm saying? Like, still having the fans there, still interacting. But you're right. If trash get thrown, if a person come out on the floor, absolutely. I'm definitely in agreement with that. And I think that would work. I think that would definitely help.
Kick them out and get arrested. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I mean,
It's
just
you gotta
just
go.
a fan hearing, oh, they can possibly get arrested if they walk the wrong way. I'm sure they'll straighten up pretty quick, unless they just wanted to be, you know, jackass, excuse my language, and do that. But I do like that. I like that motion right there. I think that would definitely help.
I'm gonna ask you this, and I'm gonna let Jared continue. What were the thoughts of Coach McClinton, knowing that his team had a chance to possibly go for a three-peat in a wide open division, and that's gone? And then for Coach Brandon White's thoughts
Mhm.
for his team to try to have a chance at redemption
Yeah,
after what happened last season and possibly one of the biggest upsets in top 28 history.
tough. Um, I grew up with both of those guys. Play ball with them, play ball against them. Um, I think the approach that I understand where Coach McClinton is coming from, how he was able to break down the incident. He broke it down for folks to see that it was none of his kids that were involved, none of his parents, kids' parents came from out of the stands. But on the other side of that is, how do we know that that was none of your parents? How can we pinpoint? You can pinpoint that because you know your players and you know the parents for those players, but we don't know the cousins, JJ, Ray, Earl. We don't know all of them who, right, who came out the stands. So on that end, I think it could have been handled a little differently if the officials were able to come in between and coach was able to protect his player. I think if police officer security would have came out quicker, I think that would have helped as well. But from Brandon's standpoint, I mean, his thoughts about it, he kind of to me, it seemed like he accepted the action that was thrown down to him, and he's moving forward. I can't knock him for that. He understood it was a hostile environment, and I know he feels bad. Of course, I'm sure any coach would when you're fighting for redemption. 3 years in a row, you're going. You won one, lost one, and try to fight back to get another one. I think that's that was his mindset. But at the end of the day, the fact that he's able to sit in front of the camera or in front of whoever who's asking the questions and able to accept the responsibility, accept the actions that was done by his player, and to keep moving forward. I mean, you really can't ask for nothing else from a black coach, from two black coaches. Again, I understand where Mr. Coach McClendon is coming from, but at the end of the day, again, we don't know who was what, who's who. So you got to take, just like how we was in high school or middle school, mom, dad, hey, don't touch that hot stove. And you touch it anyway, you burn yourself. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta take your lick. And I think it happened, I want to say early in the year was it Washington, Marion, or
And Eunice.
Eunice. That's what it was. Eunice and Carr, Eunice in whatever school. They had a fight early in the year and they were suspended or whatever. So I think if it would have happened early in the year, it would have been handled different as well. But because it's so close to playoffs, I mean, other schools won't feel comfortable playing against certain teams, after knowing they had a fight. We don't know what this kid's thinking of. So again, I think EBR did what they had to do, but I think it could have been handled different if security was there fast enough. But I applaud both coaches to, take what they gave and, hey man, keep the program rolling. I think Liberty's going to be there again around next year. Zachary is going to be around next year. So that's all they got to do. Start now and work for next year.
All right. I got 5 schools I'm going to ask you about. I want to know your thoughts about them possibly winning a state championship. So here we go. First one, Walker.
Tough. They've been there in that situation plenty of times in the past. Good friend of mine coaches there. He coaches the girls. He probably gonna be mad for me saying this, but I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna be there. They're gonna be there, but I don't think they're gonna finish on top. But I wish them luck, definitely.
What about Santa Mar? Can they make a run?
They can. I think with them, it's more of because they got a lot of kids that hustle, right? Santa Monica is built around hustle. They go inside out. They got good guard play, and they always have 1 or 2 bigs that can just put the ball in the hole, get rebounds. I think for the opponents against them, if their opponents are able to stop their guards, then they lose. If their guards are able to score and get to the rack, they're gonna win.
The favorite in Division I select, Scotlandville.
Coach Sample. Oh man, my dad grew up with this guy, man. I got nothing but love and respect for Coach Sample and what he's done, and what he continues to do, man. Big boy in the middle, unstoppable.
Yeah.
I say that like that, but of course he's in high school, so yeah. If the right big guy come across and give him a little physical play, that's where they hurt. That's where they hurt. If he get in foul trouble, Scotlandville it'll be tough. And because Scotlandville don't have the consistent 3-point shooting as they had in the past, so that also hurts them. But Sample being Sample, he's going to be able to find a way and get there. I'm all Baton Rouge, so I'm all Baton Rouge. I'm going for him.
Now with Scotlandville, do they have the depth that they have had in the past?
No.
And then on top of that, is their roster back up to 10 this year or 12? Because the way Scotlandville is looking and playing right now, they're playing almost like the Scotlandville team with Brian Bridgewater and company that year. And to me, probably the best Scotlandville team I've ever seen.
Where they had to play everybody?
Yes. And when Washington gave them hell to pay, but still came out with the win.
Came out, yes.
Yes.
So I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, you can definitely do that. They're not if you think that that team, well, this team, I'm sorry, that team was good. This team can compare to them going depth wise, but they're not. The IQ of them boys coming off the bench is a little less from what he had back then.
Interesting.
That's my opinion now.
No, that's interesting to know because I know Sample myself. Much respect to the guy. I mean, he is awesome, and he's a great coach over the years. I still say to this day what he did implementing Javonte Smart his freshman year, carrying them to the championship, and I still say to this day probably one of the best championship performances I probably ever seen. Because the fact of the matter is, you go against a big bad team in Natchitoches Central, but for this freshman to come out there and say that this is my floor, I don't care who you are, and it's almost like, hey, I'm like, I couldn't even believe that night he was a freshman. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, he was. So funny you say that. So they're not as young. They have a few sophomores, maybe one or two freshmen that's on the bench that plays from time to time. That's why I say I think it'll be a little different for them, but because Sample has already had that history of bringing those youngsters, bringing the best out of those youngsters in those crutch moments. Hell, why not give him the head? Why not give him the ones up on anybody? If he can, like you said, take freshmen, sophomores that's probably never been in those tight situations where they got to guard the best player or guard the quickest guard or be undersized and still just play tough and play with heart and grit. Again, that's why Sample is where he is, and that's why he got as many as he has. So, again, I'm going Baton Rouge. I don't. If their big man gets in foul trouble, that is their opponent's biggest thing. That is their task. If you can get the big boy out of the game, you put Sample in the situation to where he has no choice but to play those young kids, but they're a lot smaller. So you put those young kids in against a bigger team, the right coach, I'm sure he'll go inside and just kill.
Coach Jason Hamilton, Division II Select to me has many great teams in it.
Yeah. Two is pretty stacked.
Yeah. They also got 3 defending state champions in it. But I think Madison Prep is the favorite to still come out of that division. What do you think about Madison Prep?
Best team in the city of Baton Rouge.
Even better than Scotlandville, even though Scotlandville beat them.
Maybe it's because of my coaching style. Give me Madison Prep.
And it seemed like
play, tenacity. They guards play 1 through. If Jones put his point guard on the big man, his point guard gonna guard that big man like he a big man, and that goes from 1 through 5. If you can't play like that for Coach Jones, you will not play for him. I respect that. That's how I was taught to play back in the day. You don't have to score. You play defense and you stop that guy that's in front of you from scoring. My scores are going to score.
Mm-hmm.
And he has perimeter shooting. The point guard plays. He's probably the best in my eyes, the best defender I've seen in the state. But I could be wrong. I can't think of his name right now, but he's number 2, dark-skinned kid. He's their point guard. He'll guard you not from baseline to baseline with no problem. Put the ball in the hoop and dunk it. If that kid does that throughout the playoffs, controls the game, no turnovers, they win easy. None of their games should be within 10 points. That's how good I think they are. They have to want it and be ready to play.
Okay.
Coach, I give you credit for sticking to Madison Prep because I'm like, wow. I'm like, wait, you're sticking to Madison Prep as the best team in Baton Rouge? Like, wait a minute. Yeah. These cats lost by 30 to Scotlandville. And to me, I no disrespect, I like Madison Prep too and Coach Jones. Mm-hmm. But when I seen that score, it's like, wait.
I said the same thing.
Because I say Scotlandville is the best because to me, if they would have won by 10-15, I'd be like, I would say the same thing. But when you blast a team like that, it's like, wait a minute, dog. Like that team, not that we know how good they are, but that team, they got something. But I think Madison Prep is really good. I want to ask you this about Madison Prep.
Mhm.
They could you see some dangerous teams giving them a time, because I see some teams like a Landry that has been in the postseason deep and got a good team and played a tough schedule. And also, I see a team in Carver that's the defending champs that Coach Roche is really going to have them ready for bear. Peabody, who's always been there, and Madison Prep and them always had some really good battles.
Yeah. You're
And
right.
probably maybe the most dangerous team in Division Two. And no disrespect, some people are looking over them, and I know this coach is kind of liking it because of what happened last year, Archbishop Hannon.
That's the name I'm looking at right now. You took it right out. You're right. Um, with Peabody's background, man, you're right. I overlook Hannon myself. I overlook Hannon, and I overlook Shaw because I know Shaw has their moments. Mr. Shaw guy right there, right?
Yes, it.
How you
That's
doing,
it.
bro?
That's it right there.
Hey,
Right over
like I
there.
said, man,
Oh,
like I
let me
said
say
last
this.
year, that
I'll
third
say this because
quarter
I've
against
seen this around
Gallup
the
killed
city.
us.
I've seen this around the city from some of the schools, top schools. Sometimes we do, and I say we because I'm talking about Baton Rouge. We get caught in our in the moment sometimes, to where some of the teams are just staggered. Scotlandville has had those moments sometimes to where they just staggered and they're not moving. It's like they got cement, like they're just standing in cement and they're not clicking. So to answer your question about Madison Prep, I think that's the only way that happens. That means Madison Prep has to be locked in all the way. The moment Madison Prep isn't locked in, that's when your top teams like Peabody or Hannon or Shaw or slip through. Don't give them nothing. Like knock them out of the game early. If you do not knock those teams out of the game early, yeah, you do lose. So I definitely forgot about that. So I take it back, but I still got to go Madison Prep.
No, it's cool, and it's cool. We're not disrespecting because we know, and I'm glad we have you on the show because we know how good they are. I say this year, out of all the years, like last year, we seen what Baton Rouge has done, and I mean it was
For the
amazing
past
what
couple of
actually
years,
the
we see Baton Rouge do.
past 3 years what Baton
Yes.
Rouge has done, and it's amazing. And I was most shocked at what happened with Liberty last year than anything else because I thought the game was going to be close because I have a lot of respect for Coach Errol Golf over at Archbishop Hannon.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, they probably played maybe close to the perfect game you ever gonna see. And it's like, wow, you shoot 80-something% in the first half, and then in they third to the fourth, you shoot 83% to put it away.
Right.
So, I know Coach Brandon White was stunned at that because I knew how good and athletic that this Liberty team was. But for Hannon, they just played with no fear and say that, hey, come get
They
us
wanted it more.
if you
They
want
just
it.
wanted it more.
Exactly. And they just wanted it more. But for your programs in Baton Rouge, and I'm glad you're on to talk about them. I mean, I'm telling you, I said this year is probably out of all the years, maybe the deepest year because of the fact who's going to beat all these other teams and everything else. So
I have one sleeper, and I don't want my alumni to get mad at me. I do have a sleeper in the division with Scotlandville. Don't be surprised if McKinley Senior High School get back up there.
Is that because that's your alma mater?
No, I mean a part of it is yes, but I'm talking serious basketball. I'm talking just the development that those guys have been going through. Mind you, I was on that staff 2017 to 2019. So I already know what Devin Clark is bringing to the table with his assistant coaches. Them boys that he have this year, if they don't make it past the second round, just remember today, I said it. McKinley will be in the ranks in the top 10 in this division next year, no matter what goes on this year. I just want y'all to know that because
And it's the
All
same.
he had, they're very young.
And it's the same Devin Clark that was at North against I think it was
Northside.
Northside and at Southern Lab.
Yes, sir.
That's my guy right there.
Yes, sir.
He's a really good coach. I'm glad he's still in the ranks some way somehow. I know he had to deal with a lot because it's always about expectation with him and stuff like that.
Yep.
You know,
And when I tell you he's an X and O's guy, but he also let those boys play. Like it's not a hey, call this set running. No. See what you have, call what you got. If you don't have to call it, don't call it. Just play basketball. But these group of kids that he have, class of 24, class of 25, class of 26, do not be surprised if they come around this year and starting this year and next year and on, putting up some teams. But yeah, at 20 this year, they're going to upset two teams. I'm giving them to the third round. They're going to upset these two teams.
Whew, I
know.
Big bold statement.
I understand. I understand where you're coming from with that. It could not be a surprise on that. I like Devin Clark myself, but respectfully, I gotta disagree because I've seen Holy Cross. They got some tough guards.
Yeah, they do.
Really, really tough guards, and these cats are not gonna lay down. But I know it's gonna be a great ball game. There's no doubt in my mind. It's gonna be a great ball game. Oh, Jerry, go with the other teams. I know you still got some other teams you want to ask them about from BR.
Hey, I'm gonna say this: if McKinley can stop Devin Harris for Holy Cross,
that's the one that could go.
Yes,
that's the go guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's the go guy. Yeah, I got you.
Oh, yeah, I know you know. All right, here we go. So McKinley was on my list because that's his school. He answered that already.
Yeah.
What about Caliga, Baton Rouge, in Division I select? They are the 3 seed.
So Catholic lost to Skyler early.
Shaw.
Oh, they lost to Shaw too? Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So they also lost to their coach, former team, Port Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Port Allen went to Catholic and beat them as well. No, I'm sorry. Catholic went to them and they lost. But Coach Jones over there, he doesn't have the talent that he had at Port Allen as far as athleticism. He has a group of guys that are X's and O's kind of guys.
Yeah.
And I think that hurts. I think that hurts his style of coaching because what he had at Port Allen was more so get out and run and gun, play, get steals, run, get blocks, get out and run, alleys left and right. So because I think that hurts him, and I mean he'll win first game. I think it'll be a little tough road.
Oh, he got to buy in the first round. He got to buy.
Right, he has to buy it first. So whoever he has that second round, they're gonna have to be ready to play. For the simple fact that again, they don't do. He had to change it up because of the style of team that he has, and I think that hinders what he really wants to do. And again, that's my opinion, so I could be wrong, but he's gonna have a tough task come second round.
I'll tell you what, that second round matchup, it's gonna be tough, like you said. He's gonna have
no matter who you play
or Warren Easton. That's not gonna be easy.
Never. It's never easy. Baton Rouge against New Orleans teams. Never.
True. That is true.
And the crazy part, and what I think that's because I've been around the ball between Baton Rouge and New Orleans all my life. You guys play a different style ball, man. It's more get after it.
Yeah.
I don't care if he go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom. Don't let him get deny the ball, get on the floor. 2 hands on the ball, turn your elbows out. I guarantee none of these kids want to take these elbows. And I think that's what we lack down in Baton Rouge sometimes.
I think the thing is, and I think the difference is with the basketball is the fact that, and I get what you're saying. I think a lot of times, regardless of what area you're from, you got to have that dog on your team.
Yeah.
You got to have that dog. Because plain and simple, in New Orleans, we have dogs sometimes that could be 6'4". You might not have your 6'10" guy. You might not have your 6'9" guy. but we might have a 6'3.5" guy, 6'4" guy, a 6'5" guy that
Right.
can get the rebounds over your 6'10" guy, over your
Yes.
6'9" guy, and may get a block and say, "Come on, I don't care how big you is, I'm a man too. Let's go."
Yes.
And
And
that's the dog mentality some of these people have. Like a great example, your guy, Jared, from Shaw,
Oh,
Johnson, Cam
Cameron
Johnson.
Johnson.
Cameron Johnson is about 5'7", 5'7.5", 5'8".
I remember. Yeah, I remember him.
One,
I remember Jared talking about him.
one of the quickest guards in the state, and that's how much respect. It ain't because of your alma mater, Jared. It's the fact
Oh,
that
I know.
I respect him as a player. Cam
I feel
Johnson,
like if he was 6 feet, he's the best player in the state, hands down.
exactly.
Gotcha.
And I think he's top 5 in the state anyway, overall, because the fact of that is the fool has so much heart. He doesn't see it. He doesn't see it against anybody. You could be about 6'4.5", 6'4". We seen him against tough competition in the Sugar Bowl tournament, and this fool still put up big numbers.
Yeah.
And it's like this boy don't see nothing. He's just gonna get it, and that's how it is down in Southeast Louisiana. We just really in overall period, because somebody has a dog on a team. You can go away to White Castle. You can go away to the next team we're going to talk about, and that's Port Allen. That got dogs on the team, dogs all over. So it don't matter if you got that 1 or 2 dogs on the team. That's going to help you going forward, and that's why the state of Louisiana of basketball is so different than anybody else. Like, we might not have the NBA talent, but we got cats that can go to the next level if they want to.
Yeah, I agree. We played is that Sarah T going? That's Sarah T on the East, right?
Sarah T.
Reed, yeah.
We played them. They got this one kid, guard, lefty. And I mean, we beat him, but his demeanor on the court is just like so inviting to me. He didn't care that they were losing. He didn't care that he was missing shots. He didn't care about nothing. He just wanted that damn basketball. Every time he wanted the basketball, and he didn't matter if he had 3. He was just trying to will Sarah T. Reed to beat us. I mean, again, we're not at that time. We definitely wasn't where we are now, but to see that kind of, like you said, a dog, and I know Sarah T, they lacking a few here and there, but this one kid, he was a guard, he was a point guard, lefty, didn't care if a hand was in his face. He didn't care if you played physical, he gonna play physical back with you. He didn't give a damn if you blocked his shot. Guess what? He coming right back to see if you do it again. Because if you don't do it again, he gonna keep coming at you. And he finished left, he finished right, mid-range, 3-point shot, and that's if he had that big man, that's all he needed was a big guy to just get him the rebounds off consistently and score the bucket. They would have beat us. But that's the kind of dog that like you said, I think a lot of teams are missing out here in Baton Rouge. So of course, as coaches, we have to adjust. You have to make this certain adjustment, which is what Catholic is missing. That dog that he had at Port Allen, he doesn't have that per se at Catholic.
All right. Speaking of Port Allen, talk about him. And we get you out of here on that one. Last one.
Running gun. Nasty. Sometimes it may be ugly, but those the ugly wins are some good wins. Ugly wins are wins to let a coach know, okay, this is what I got. I can win ugly, I can win good, but I win.
Yeah.
Country bumpkin. I'm not talking about it. I just the way I use it. I love a country bumpkin team. Port Allen, White Castle, your Bruleys, your Plaquemine. They all to me play the same. Plaquemine and Port Allen, they play similar style ball. Up and down, tall guys that can run the floor, guards that can go left to right, shifty. They can shoot from the perimeter. They can dunk on you. Don't stand under the goal because you will get dunked on a few times. I see Port Allen. I see them making it there. Do I see them winning? I'm gonna stick with all my Baton Rouge. Yep, we're going Baton Rouge. We're going Port Allen. It's on the west side, but We good. We're going Baton Rouge.
Hey, Port Allen's a real tough team, and
Yeah.
I think we both, me and Jared, know that they can win it all. I'm hoping there might be another rematch between them and Meet after a really good game last season. But I know Meet struggled, but now they're getting better. But I'm gonna ask you this two-parter right quick, and I'm gonna let you go. We're gonna let you go. One, in Division One, probably the most wide open of all the divisions. No, non-select.
Non-select. Okay.
Non-select. Because that's the only one out of all the divisions.
True.
Division One non-select. Which team do you think is going to win it all? Because this is how much wide open this thing is. And the second question is, you talk about Madison Prep, but there are a lot of other teams out there in the state that's really good. You look at Scotlandville, Newman, all these other teams. Who do you think has the best all-around basketball team in the state?
Are we talking about just Division One, non-select?
No, we talking about not for best basketball team all around.
All around.
Don't matter what class.
I'm looking at everything, Coach. How can you not say Scotlandville? You got point guards who control the game. You got a big man who can't be stopped, in a sense. And then you also have those youngsters who's that two-way player, T-Set. They're forward. Mm-hmm. He's an animal. Sample's son, he's their shooter. All he has to do is hit shots. So just hit shots. I think, like you said, all around, I think that would be the most complete team. And I'm not saying that because I'm Baton Rouge. I just honestly think that's his way of coaching. As you have to coach, if you have to coach like that to make them a complete team, I think that's who I would go with. Let me know if y'all got any other. Let me know, because trust me, I'm here. I love to learn the knowledge, baby. I'd love to do the research.
Nah, what you saying, like, it's your opinion and we respect it. And we understand, we definitely agree with you that Scotlandville, like at first we said Madison Prep until we seen that score. Gotcha. And I was like, right now to me, it's Scotlandville.
It'll be out of those two.
It's Scotlandville 1, Madison Prep 2, no disrespect to Newman, and Newman's 3.
Yeah,
those are you, like, to me, my top 3 programs all around the state.
That's my top 3 as well. Yes, sir. I agree with that. Definitely. I was going to say Newman can be thrown in there with Madison Prep. I mean, they would. So Newman is in our division.
Yeah.
We got Newman, Dunham, Episcopal, U-High. I mean, all we got to do is win. I don't know.
That's it.
Look, we tell our players, hey, I don't care how you win. Just win. Just win, man. Just leave it out on the court, bro. That's all we ask these kids to do. Leave it out on the court. The seniors, that's all they can do. Last game, possibly last game for them, Friday for us. So, hey man, I'm ready. I'm excited.
Now Division 1 non-select. Your pick that you think they can win state in that Division 1 non-select.
Division non-select?
Yes, Division 1 non-select.
But you asking about Walker? That's non-select, right?
That's
correct. It's non-select. That's non-select. I'm just trying to see who you think is going to win the state
non-select, right?
Yes.
New Iberia non-select.
Non-select. We're saying who you think is going to win it because that's the most wide open.
That's the most wide open.
Like to me, I'm saying it because New Iberia has been on a stage but never cracked that code.
Never cracked that. Yep.
So that's the biggest thing. We're like, sometimes when you see a team that's that good, and I learned it over the years. If a team ain't been there, go with the team that's been there. And a lot of times, every time you go, it's gonna work every time. Or that team might prove itself.
Ponchatoula has surprised me this year. I'm gonna be honest with you. Ponchatoula has really surprised me, and I think that would be my pick.
I like that.
Ponchatoula.
I like that. We said that's a dangerous team.
That's a dangerous.
We did.
We said it's And also they upset Madison Prep.
They
They're in
did.
their second loss of the year.
They
So
did.
when we seen that,
They
I
did.
was like, man, this Ponchatoula
And they
boys
matched
is
up.
come up.
They matched up very well against Madison Prep. They matched up very well against them. So if they take that game plan against Madison Prep and play like that throughout the playoffs, they definitely, they should win if they play that way. But again, these are high school kids, don't know what team you're gonna get.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'll take Ponchatoula for the non-select Division I.
I like that, man. We appreciate it because, like I said,
Oh,
it's a wide open. I've seen very few wide open divisions and classes and everything. I think the last time I've seen something kind of wide open, and it was the year when Andrew Walker won Class 5A, and it was like a 22 seed, and then on top of that, the year when yeah, exactly. And then Class 4A, I believe in 2000 and I believe 2003 or 4, the year when Scotlandville won state against Washita, that when they played in Monroe.
Okay, that was
that was
05, 04, 05.
Yeah. The year that Class 4A, when that Class 4A was wide open, you didn't have a dominant team at all because it was so much parity in the top 15. It's almost like, okay, anybody can win this.
Anybody, yeah.
And it wound up being Northside and St. Thomas More in the championship. And St. Thomas More had a big full quarter and wound up winning the championship.
Yeah.
Matter
of fact, I want to say that was Devin Clark.
Yeah, Devin Clark was there.
Yeah.
Then Devin said this was his youngest team.
And
they don't know how they got there, but they got there. But it was a tight one against the legend Danny Broussard. And you had to think at the time, before them other state championships, Danny Broussard only had one before going into that championship game. And they ain't won a championship since the 70s. So for him to break that string, that was something special. But he had to go against a rival, and that was like a tight game. And St. Thomas More was fortunate to pull away to get the win. So it was a wide open division then, and we're seeing it again now with Division I non-select.
Yeah, that was my senior year at McKinley. I don't want to relive that one.
Oh,
yes, indeed.
Lost to Glen Oaks in overtime. Go to the top 28.
Wow.
Off a tip, off a tip ball, off the rebound, offensive rebound, tipped it in. I don't relive that. But
but it seemed like McKinley.
That was Glen Oaks back to back. That was that. And Glen Oaks went up. Ended up winning it that year, 2005.
When are y'all gonna get some kind of good luck in McKinley? It seemed like y'all are always.
He say about to happen now.
I hope so, because you see that. I remember one year, McKinley was, I believe, they was in the state championship.
2012 was my last year. My first stint at McKinley coaching was from 2010 to 2012. 2012, we lost to Scotlandville by 40 in the state.
Yeah, I was there for that. I was hoping that game was gonna be at least close for at least 2 quarters, and then because it was interesting early until late in the second quarter. Yes. Scotlandville just went on like a 15-0 run, and it just ain't turned back. And it's like, oh my God.
Yep.
And it was probably one of the biggest. Jared, get this. It was probably one of the biggest crowds of the whole weekend.
Yes.
Because Scotlandville brought a lot of people, and McKinley brought a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And bruh, we thought it was gonna be an interesting game. I thought Scotlandville would win, but I didn't expect it to be what it did become, because I'm thinking Scotlandville. I was like, okay, McKinley making this interesting. They ain't here for nothing. All of a sudden, they went on that run, and then all of a sudden, the first couple minutes of the third, they went on another 10-0.
Another 10. Yep, they came out. I said, halftime with a 10-12 run.
I said, bro, it's over. I said, dang, McKinley, it's over. And then it got a little bad. They had to have extra security, Jared, because the McKinley folks look like they were ready to fight. Because
Oh,
I hate to say that, it was like they
hey,
were ready to
you're
fight.
right. You hit it on the head, my brother. I understand.
Because, bro, it was, and not knocking the fans, they are very passionate.
Yeah,
but
we just very
afterwards,
passionate,
you know, because it was just the fact, like, we understand the frustration. Because even the coach from McKinley was like, "Hey, let's chill," you know what I'm saying? Because he trying to calm the players down. But the fans in the stand going, "Oh Lord, they're ready
you know,
to
that's a
throw
big
down."
rivalry out here, McKinley, Scotlandville, down
Yeah.
here, and then we played them in a playoff game and a championship game. Yeah, it got and then what's crazy? So what's the left-handed kid used to play at Scotlandville? Not Reese Beckham. What was the other kid that played with him? Anyway, his mom.
Yeah.
He's actually from the McKinley area, but his mom was driving school bus for Scotlandville. That's how he ended up at Scotlandville. So trust me, it'd be a lot of things that go on why the rivalries are so the way they is. Moms, cousins on one end, daddy or uncle on opposite end. So I mean, it makes it fun for the game. Again, I just hope we as fans and coaches keep respect for the game, and hopefully not let it end up on the court. Because I can remember in the 90s, early 2000, it was McKinley and the Struma.
Baton Rouge also.
Yeah, we had a brawl at a Struma. Now, a Struma gym is totally changed now. Back then, you walk in the gym, it's dark, it's dim.
It's dark, it's dim, and he got frozen. And it's frozen. We lost Jason.
I think Jason might have got hacked. I think a Struma folks must have just like, oh no, he's telling our secrets. We have to stop him. You got to stop Jason from talking right now. Struma didn't want their secrets let out. You know what I'm saying? I keep telling y'all people out there in YouTube and Facebook land, some people are hacking us. I'm telling you. They don't want secrets out on the show.
This conspiracy theory about being hacked.
Hey, I'm a conspiracy theorist sometimes, because some is not right and some don't make sense. We understand technology, but then sometimes, like I'm telling you, like Alfred Williams, like he's talked about Kevin Garnett. Somebody had to hack and stop something because it was like, wait a minute, oh no, they about to find out about me. We're gonna stop that now. So,
coach.
Yeah. Somebody watching.
We're gonna give him a minute. See if he come back. He can finish.
Hopefully, because that's an interesting story.
Yeah,
I'm loving it. There
you go. We got him back.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Good.
Guys.
I think a Struma was trying to get you, Coach. That's what it was.
Yep. But yeah, man, we had a brawl over, and that when I tell you that was one of the worst brawls I witnessed or been a part of. And Ernest, my older brother, he was a senior that year. So of course, if I see him fighting, but we pulled him back. So we didn't have some pretty bad brawls down here this way. But
and how does Struma
nowadays we just gotta keep it together, baby.
How does Struma
gym the right way?
I'm sorry, how does Struma gym changed a bit? You said
it has changed. So they did, they closed the Struma for a little stint. I want to say from 13 to 17 or from 14 to 17. So they remodeled, new lights, better court, better bleachers, better stage. It's more open now. The bleachers don't come out to the court. It's more manageable, way more manageable than how it used to be. Same thing with McKinley. McKinley's court, the bleachers come out to the court, and they didn't change that. So the McKinley gym used to be dark. Like 1970s dark.
Ooh, Jesus.
Ooh, Lord.
Yeah. Wow. So, matter of fact, McKinley gym walls are white now. They just changed those walls when they renovated the gym 2-3 years ago. Our gym used to be blue.
Yeah.
So
it's white.
And I mean like dirty blue. Dark, dingy. Oh man, yeah. So, but like I said, it's just good to see these, the kids and these schools get better and better. Try to get better to make the situation better for the kids and the parents.
I gotta ask you this, and I hate to keep you on here for too long because we got to get out of here. But
we go all day, baby.
What do you?
This VK man, Never lost a word. It's VK.
I just
What
had
you
this
got,
on my,
Rick?
I just had this on my mind a bit.
Oh,
What are
good.
your thoughts? What are your thoughts about the I'm sorry, the Glen Oaks athletics trying to get back into things and everything else, especially with the girls getting to the quarterfinals for the first time in a long, long time and everything. And it seemed like Glen Oaks is starting to come back, knowing back in the
Are we
day
talking about Glen Oaks as a whole?
we're talking about Glen Oaks athletics as a whole, but especially with the girls program getting to the quarterfinals and everything, and also with the progress of the athletics program is because back then, like the football program wasn't bad, but the basketball in the
Yeah.
90s and 2000s was something to die for.
Yes.
Back in the day, back in the days of Lester Earl, Corey Powell,
Corey Powell, yep.
and then also Coach Jones, who's at Madison Prep
Madison, yep.
as well.
Yep.
And also the days of Brittany Helm, I think her name was.
Yes,
They
that was
used
her
to
name.
play.
She graduated
Yeah,
with, yep.
yeah, who was amazing at Glen Oaks, and I think that was the last time they got to the state semifinals. Actually won state championship with her.
Yeah, coach.
Coach. Yeah, they won state. So that was the last time they've been that deep. Yeah, I'm good. So
Yeah, we hear you.
So we hear you, but also the coach over
Yeah.
there. I forgot her name, but she did a great job with the program.
There's a new coach. There's a new coach over there now.
Yeah, I understand that, but I know it's been a long, long time. But what's the progress? What's your thoughts of them being in the quarters and also the progress of their athletic program? Seeing like they're trying to come back in Baton Rouge.
Again, they got the right people in place. And that's where it starts. Administration, from the principals down to the deans, down to the head coach, athletic director with Coach Harvey Adger still being there. They're heading in the right direction. The girls are doing amazing. I like it. They'll make sometimes watching them sometimes and watching Southern Lab girls, because that's my home girl too, Coach Cheney. I almost want to jump over and try to get into the girls coaching world a little bit. That's how good I think they're doing. Coach Ad's still at it. He got a bunch of young freshmen and sophomores. They're gonna make some again next 2-3 years. It's another team. You're gonna hear about McKinley. You're gonna hear about Glen Oaks. You're gonna hear about Capital. You're gonna hear about your Strumers. You're gonna get the old Baton Rouge back into the talks of playoff basketball, whether it's all girls. Southern Lab, they'll be back in there, the girls and boys. But yeah, it's the foundation that has been redone for Glen Oaks that's helping them get there. If that makes sense.
Yes. I think that's the scariest thing I've heard from you all evening, saying all these other programs, and I'm like, Jared, it sounds like Southeast Louisiana and New Orleans is in trouble if all these teams come up, man. I'm like,
I mean, look,
no hate on Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge been there, but I'm like, I know. I'm just saying that'd be the most deepest we'll ever see. So it's just a fact, like, but that's to y'all. That's big ups to y'all.
Yeah.
And especially Coach Cheney with her women's program and everything. I ain't gonna lie. Me and Jared talked about this, and I'm hoping you agree with me, Jason. I said we talked about Highland Baptist on the one in the brackets, but I told him Southern Lab, North Willena, that's where they're at. That's where Highland's got to get to. You know what I'm saying? I think Coach Cheney has a chance to win it again, but I ain't gonna lie. If they go against North Willena, that's gonna be a war. Cause I seen North Willena last year. That is a hell of a program.
Yeah, she's ready. They'll be ready. Again, they're young. But I think for her, it comes down to just coaching.
Right.
Just coaching.
Absolutely.
See the difference between the girls and the boys, man. Them girls, they buy in so easily. They just buy in so easily. Talk back, no frustration, no matter.
Listen like that.
The girls just listen and do what they ask. These guys, I don't know. We got to go through hell and high waters, but eventually we get there. But I'm definitely, like I said, I'm excited for these playoffs. I'm excited for both girls and boys side, and let's see who comes out on top. Let's see who have more wins, Baton Rouge teams or New Orleans teams.
Definitely.
We got this Baton Rouge New Orleans thing going on.
Hey, it is what it is.
We appreciate it. And we need to we need to put the info out there, and that's what Hash It Out is all about. You know, we want to put this. It ain't just hashing things out and comparing, but also we want to put the info out. And Jason's not just going to be. He's one of the first, like, not just coach experts joining us. We're going to have other experts joining us from other areas as well to discuss more of the playoffs and everything else and what's going on in each area. So, you know, we're expanding, ladies and gentlemen. So we're not just gonna talk New Orleans as well. We already gave love to other areas, so we're gonna bring on experts to cover the other areas to find out what we don't know, and we bring that to you.
That's right. Coach Jason Hamilton, my good friend. Thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
No problem,
man. Have a good one.
All right, brother.
Hey, good luck Friday night.
Good luck, Coach.
Be ready, baby. I'm ready. Be ready. Let me tell you how ready I am. I'm looking at y'all. Let me know y'all know anything about Calvary Baptist. That's who we got second round. That's how ready I am. I'm now Calvary Baptist is ready. They waiting on us for the second round. That's how ready I am.
VK, you know about Calvary Baptist?
I know a lot about Calvary Baptist. That's a hell of a program. That they push Southern Land to the limit last year in the title game. So
they number 3. So yeah, they're ranked number 3 in our division. So that's who we're looking forward to competing with on Tuesday after we win Friday. So if you win Friday, I'll get back with y'all.
Yeah,
definitely.
Definitely. If you win Friday, Coach, just don't. I know you're not gonna take Calvary Baptist lightly, but play with no fear if you're gonna pull this thing off out there.
Absolutely. I appreciate it talking to y'all, man. That's all love, baby.
Definitely. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Sir. All right, baby.
All right. My good friend, Coach Jason Hamilton. All right. So we're over 2 hours. We didn't win a long time. That's okay. Those who stay with us, thank y'all. Those who's with us, thank y'all. But before we go, we do have a show tomorrow. Same time. VK is going to tell y'all who we have on the show tomorrow.
Tomorrow, we will have head coach from LB Landry, Rob Wallace, from the district champions. He'll join us to talk about the playoff matchups coming up for him and how the season of his team did this year and how the progress is going at LB Landry, and maybe talk about uniforms. But also, your favorite subject, my friend. And
I'm
then
not
also
asking a question about the uniforms. I'm not saying a word. It is what it is. You want to ask him about the uniform and he answers, that's cool. I'm not even going to refute anything.
It's going to be more of a fashion faux pas more than anything else if I ask a question on that. But also we will have the defending state champion head coach from George Washington Carver, Nathaniel Roche. He's going to join us on a show. He's going to talk about his team, how his team has handled success, and also in trying to defend the state championship, and especially in a tougher division. So we'll have both Coach Wallace and Coach Roche on tomorrow's show, and we will also discuss any little sports topics as well before we end the week.
That's VK Jones. I'm JB, your sports guy. We'll see you tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Two coaches on the show.
And also we'll update the girls' scores as well from quarters.
Yes, we will. We sure will. When we get the scores in, I'm going to sit here and see it. Thank y'all for tuning in. We're back tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Y'all take